So today we're going to show you how to multiply the speed of the process and workflow of creating, managing, deploying, testing AI agents and workflows for your clients or for your business. Our world is the GoHighLevel world and CloseBot. So if you work with GoHighLevel and with CloseBot, you're at the right place. If you're building agents, designing agents, and AI-based solutions for marketing, you're at the right place because we're going to show you how you can do that much more quickly, efficiently, and scale up to more projects without hiring any kind of VAs or extra help. We're very humbled and feel very fortunate to be working with the community, with Bryce and Rafa and the GHL community. It has been an amazing experience, a lot of support, a lot of good energy and good vibes. And I want to thank the community for the support. Without all your feedback, all the kind words, and of course, buying our products and services, we wouldn't be able to do these amazing things. So thank you for that. A little bit about who Real Wave is. We're a software and AI software company. I'm doing software for 30 years now, and AI is the latest incarnation in Real Wave's journey. Currently, we're an AI-first agency. We're deep GHL CloseBot AI operators. We're not just looking around. We've done hundreds of agents in the last couple of years, and what we're sharing with you here is basically a culmination of a lot of hard work, a lot of projects that we did, mostly succeeded, some of them failed miserably, and the tools we built for ourselves to be able to scale quickly and able to deliver repeatable results for our client, the ability to get new clients and not be stressed out about capacity. All of those capabilities that we unlocked over the years, we're making them available to you, to agency owners, to business owners through our tools. A little bit about me. A proud computer geek, computer sciences, and I've done software for most of my life. My first company got acquired in 2011, sold it to a publicly traded company, a business intelligence software company. Then did some real estate and back to software. And we're currently working in the AI space. We're a preferred CloseBot partner, GHL certified. And we're one of the few companies that provide products on top of these two platforms. So why are we here today? We're here today because apparently building AI agents is not straightforward. It's not a simple thing. It starts with a feeling of bliss, like you can create your first agent, especially if you're using CloseBot and using all the nice drag and drop features. You can create agents pretty quickly. Let's say in 5, 10, 30 minutes, you can have your idea set up, connect it quickly to GoHighLevel and launch it. The issue is what happens after this first proof of concept. First of all, how do you make sure that the agent works properly, not only in your one test, but in real hardened client scenarios? One of the main issues we kept stumbling into in our first year, we would build an agent for a client. We would run some tests, 5, 10 tests, see how it works, maybe 20. And we would hand it over to the client. Now, usually the clients, they don't know how to test an AI agent. They have a conversation with them about something else. So the only way to test it is to launch it, give it to some test clients. And then you're basically wasting weeks of inflow testing your agents, because I promise you that the moment you launch it, the moment that real traffic goes in, this is where all the scenarios that you didn't expect, that you didn't predict, someone didn't provide their email address when you expected them to, and they're asking about something else. Someone said they want a meeting and the agent is not configured to listen for a meeting at this stage. And there's so many things that can go wrong. And then you get the client saying, hey, why did my agent did not behave? This is the moment where a business owner, maybe they waited 3 years for this moment, 2 years, maybe they thought they were taking a risk and they're launching and they don't see great results. This is not the right way to start the relationship with the client. So we found that getting to reliability, to predict how the agent is going to behave before launching, running enough tests into it was always a big challenge. And again, we found it after a lot of angry leads not getting responses because of bugs. So, and then you launch your first agent, and then there's another one and another one and another one. How do you keep the knowledge between them, not the agent knowledge, but the best practices of how to approach the lead, how to converse, what's the best prompting methods for each one of the nodes? So it's hard to create a standardized way if you have dozens or hundreds of agents. It's really difficult to track what you did in each one of them, and even more difficult to make changes. So we think, hey, we don't need a change. We just set a prompt and we let it go. But rarely is the truth, because first of all, models change. You start with GPT-4 behind the scenes and suddenly it's GPT-5 behind the scenes. You had no say about it, right? But CloseBot does it automatically for you. But this new engine, it's much better. And so it's more verbose for some reason. And your client doesn't like it, right? How do you change all the agents to match this new model? How do you add fields consistently? This was always a challenge. Another challenge was tone and logic drift. You have 20, 30 agents and you want to change how all of them sound as a group. And with time, you have different VAs doing different prompts and the tone change over time. And we found that we spend a lot of time, instead of just working with the client and the CRM and the leads, fixing, optimizing prompts, creating other issues in other parts of the agent. When we were getting an email from a client saying, hey, I didn't like how the bot says this here, it was always, everybody was stressed out because you changed something and you don't know the ripple effect of how this change in prompt will affect the other sides. You just spent 24 hours testing the agent and now you make a little change and you need to run everything again, a full regression test. And of course, the constant changes. 6 months ago, it was all about workflow building. Now it's all about agent node. So that's a completely different concept, right? Now you need to relearn a new concept, transfer your agents. 6 months from now, there will be agent with tools. Now GHL is doing super agents, tracking those dozen different technologies. Some of them, by the way, will not survive. Some of them will not be here like in 2 months. Like the agent studio from GHL, whoever started using it, it's deprecated, right? They said, no, we're doing something else. So keeping track of all the changes, all the different tools was also really challenging for teams. So anyway, I was just sharing all of the issues and troubles we went through as we were scaling to deliver reliable AI agent solutions for our clients. And I'm a freak about reliability. I think personally, a system or a software or a solution for a business that's not predictable and reliable enough will just not survive. And there's a big difference between a proof of concept and a reliable system. And we were really going nuts figuring out how to make AI reliable, which is kind of a contradiction, right? AI is unpredictable by its nature. That's why you like AI. You can ask it a question and it will answer something of its own. So we don't want to limit the AI. We want it to create an answer, but we need to be able to restrict it and steer it in the direction that we want. But this is just one part. you can steer the AI as much as you want, but it can still say whatever it wants as a response. So we found that verification and evaluation, basically what they call guardrails to the AI, are necessary to make sure, like, have a grown-up in the room. It's not only the AI saying what it wants to. You have a grown-up in the room looking at the results. So as we were going through those challenges, and one option was, okay, we need to hire more. We just need more workforce, or we need better VAs. We need the cheap ones. We need the good ones. We're willing to pay more. But they just work out. Our issue with VAs was always repeatability. You hire someone, you train them, then they leave, and you have to start over again. Or you need another one for a month just to scale a little bit. It's really challenging because you need to hire someone, train someone. There are new tools. You have to train them again on the new tools, and they're not always that quick. And also turnaround time was always a challenge with VAs. We like to work on the speed of light. You have an issue, we fix, we move on. And the several day turnover just didn't work for us. So we came to a decision. We're either going to be Medicore and be in the muddy waters with all our competitors, or we're going to do something about it, and we're going to build our tool set. And that was 2 years ago, before vibe coding was a thing. Luckily for us, we know our way around software, and we started to work on the Real Wave platform. And our challenge set, the things that we want to solve, is those issues. Every new client, new custom build. That was one of our biggest issues. It shouldn't be custom build every time. It should be take this, change it a little bit, update, launch. Logic prompts and flows, they shouldn't be documented in papers. They should be a part of the design. QA, hours of manual conversation reviews. This shouldn't be happening anymore, because we found, listen, this is crazy. We had to pay the most for the QA engineers. Like, these were the smartest people we could hire, because if you just have someone go over the conversation, just run a conversation, they can give you a very shallow response, like, I didn't like that, or that didn't work. But to be able to understand why something didn't work, you need to have a holistic understanding of the entire system. It didn't work because one workflow in GHL tagged it, but then another workflow untagged it, and the user responded manually, so it removed the AI off tag from CloseBot. And then, so to understand what happened, you need to understand the entire system fully. So we found ourselves to really find the issues quickly and to solve them quickly, not just prolong them. We had to pay a lot of money to do the QA. So it's like a vicious cycle of, you don't QA enough to launch, so you get a lot of complaints, and then it costs a lot to find those issues. And growth, taking on new projects, felt like we have to hire again. So this was our premise. Basically, to dumb it down, we wanted an easy way to quickly build agents and launch them, be able to have the prompts and logic and data easily accessible and changeable. A great way to do quality assurance, help us launch higher quality agents so we don't get any complaints. And the feedback that we do get, nobody's perfect, there's always issues. It will take just minutes to fix. And if possible, over text or over the phone, instead of, let me get back to you when I'm next to my computer in a couple of hours so I can open CloseBot and make some changes. All right. So today we're going to show you Real Wave Copilot. Real Wave Copilot is a part of the Real Wave suite that's available through our website. And it's the first Copilot for CloseBot and for GHL. Actually, we were the first that allows you to just chat with our AI agent about what you want to do in CloseBot and GHL, and it will build it for you. I'm sure that some of you are working with AI tools like Claude or Manus or ChatGPT, and those agents allow you to run tools and run a project for you. So Copilot is one of those agents trained like a killer CloseBot workflow builder. That's all it wants to do in life. It was trained to build those CloseBot Copilot, and it's trained on CloseBot and of course GHL, because usually what you build in CloseBot connects to your GHL infrastructure, custom fields, calendars. So the agent needs to be aware both of the CloseBot environment and your GHL environment. And I think we'll just go ahead and jump over to see how it works. All right, so that's realwave.com. I logged in and that's my account, and I'm here in my Copilot account. I have some stuff here that you don't see in your account because I'm an admin, so I have some admin stuff, so you will not see it. Stuff starts from agent library and below. And Copilot is where you'd find all the cool agents we've been talking about. And when I go to Copilot, I can see several options. Hold on, what let me see. And then one of them, the first one here is CloseBot Copilot Interactive. And this is what I click in order to access Copilot. Now, before you have access to your CloseBot and your GHL, for those of you who didn't install Real Wave yet, you go to your settings and to your integration. And this is where you connect your CloseBot account with your CloseBot API key and your GoHighLevel account. We have a manage sub account. You add to a connect new sub account, and it opens the GHL connect sub account screen, and it will add your location here. So as soon as you have your CloseBot, OpenAI, and GHL accounts integrated into the Real Wave integration settings page, where CloseBot Copilot can access all of them. So all I have to do, click launch, and I get access to CloseBot Copilot. So CloseBot Copilot can do a few things. And today I want to show you several things you can do with it. We can create new workflows, new job flows, and agents in CloseBot, both regular flows and agent node, or a combination. So we can build new ones. We can fix or edit existing job flows. So if we already have something that we built and we want someone to look at that, provide expert advice, improve that, make some changes, CloseBot Copilot will be happy to do that. It can run tests, run simulations. It can define follow-ups, and it can also update business information because it has a built-in crawler. So you can send it to, hey, can you go check their website and update all the details in the business information. Okay, let's go ahead and start. So where do we start? Hello there. Today I want to create a new agent that does lead qualification for roofing business for Facebook ads. Click enter. By the way, most of our clients, they learn that they can just copy and paste the requirement document or a PDF print screen of what the client wants or something they got over email. So you can just, instead of typing, you can click plus and attach a PDF or a picture or a design document, or just paste it, and Copilot will like it just fine. So one of the things I like about Copilot is that it's actively working with me to build the agent. So I've seen other tools that will just go ahead and build whatever you ask them. You give them a prompt, it's like, okay, I'm building. But hold on, build what? This is the Copilot approach. It's just like, hold on, but do you want to start from scratch? Do you maybe want to use an existing workflow that you already have? Do you want to work together to do planning? Or maybe you already know what you want, right? It knows where people get diverged in this part of the conversation, and it's trying to help you, especially if you're starting to figure out what you want to do. So let's build from scratch. All right, so here's the simple plan. Reply fast to new Facebook leads, ask 3 to 5 key roofing qualification questions, split hot leads versus weak leads, send good leads to booking or estimate, leave smart Q&A path for common questions, right? So it came up with the basic structure of flow, and I can like it, I can not like it, I can ask for changes, and it also asks me, choose the main goal. What does the agent need to do? Give us a mission, please. Do we want us to book an estimate call, book an on-site inspection, collect info and hand off maybe to a person, send quote request form? Now, your client should tell you what they want, right? But not all of them know exactly all of the little details. So the agent always helps you to ask the right question, and also helps you to get the end result closer to what you envisioned. Sometimes it's hard for us when we build prompts to think about all of the different options. So it's just a way for you to get some more accuracy into those prompts. So let's say book an estimate call. Pick how to create a new roofing agent, duplicate an existing new agent. I can always type if I want to. So what kind of lead types are we approaching? Roof replacing, roof repair, let's say roof repair. Confirm. Book on a calendar, link, collect info. Let's do real calendar booking. So now it's asking me for which sub account to use, right? It knows my GHL location, so I'm going to choose Real Wave. Now it asks me which calendar I want to connect. So it's actually going to GHL, finding the calendar, and I can select the right calendar. Choose a name, roofing lead qualifier. I can work on the tone. Let's make it friendly and local. Create from scratch. So just to start with the template. So it's duplicating the template. We talked about earlier about reusing what you have. So it found that there always some logic that it can reuse. I can see what it's doing in my account. So it duplicated the template, updated its details, and now it's reviewing the results. What should count as qualified roofing repair? It's asking me about how to do the qualification. Asking whether they want to qualify the location or not. Just do it approach. Copilot is trained to ask you as many questions as it can, but you can go ahead and let it build first pass, check it and see how it works. Yeah, go ahead, continue the build. Oh, by the way, while we do that in CloseBot, when I go to agents, make modified. Agent. There we go. Roofing lead qualifier. Sometimes it takes a second to show in CloseBot. And we can see it's still work in progress. It's still building it, but we can see it as it's building the agent that we just designed. Copilot is trained to build the agents in smaller chunks. So even if you ask it to build everything, it will do a lot of verifications. This is part of the reliability program. AI tends to hallucinate if you let it off the leash too much. So the agents are trained to keep checking themselves and keep running tests and talking to you, making sure that what they're building is proper. And this is how we get to the higher reliability. Now it's updating and building the workflow. Let's refresh. See what's the current state is. See, it's building it bit by bit. So Copilot figured out that I have booking, but we're missing booking confirmation. So it suggested to add that as a follow-up node, something that people sometimes forget. You send a booking and then the agent ghosts the lead. So we're trying not to do that. Okay, so it thinks it's kind of done with the first stage. So we have our roofing lead qualifier agent ready for us, and it's looking nice and all connected, ready to book. Book call is connected properly. Booking confirmation, connected to a Q&A node. Perfect, exactly what we wanted it to do. So now Copilot is taking me to the next stage, which is adding some persona and business info. We didn't provide any of that. And attach it to the sources and run some QA tests. So yeah, let's use add persona and attach it to my Real Wave source over Facebook. Use an existing persona. Let's see if there's something I can reuse. Roofing helper. Ridge shingle. Yeah, that's the persona I want, definitely. It's an existing persona I already have in a CloseBot. So it's updating the persona, linking it to my agent. And then a persona, I don't see it connected. There is no Real Wave. So let's do Real Wave development, whatever. Attach source requires permission, because as soon as you do that, it's kind of live. So just making sure you know. So we should have it connected to, let's do a refresh here, see how the CloseBot is doing. So we should have a persona connected, and we should be also connected to a source. So if I go here, I have Ridge Shingle here. So good stuff. And where's the sources? Real Wave development. So source set up properly, persona set up properly, agent completely built. And I'm just opening CloseBot so you can see that it's actually building that, but I usually don't even look back in CloseBot anymore. As soon as it's published here, I know it's there. So we set it up, we updated the information, we connected it to a source, we updated the persona. Now it's time to see how it works. So up until now, you had to go and actually run some conversations, but now you can do that in a much easier way. It's like, hey, can we run a lead test through that agent? What kind of lead? Let's start easy with the qualified roofing repair lead. So what the system does now, it prepares a script and it opens the workflow that we just created. This is what we just did, right? It loads it here, and Real Wave is running a conversation with CloseBot to figure out where things are going good or bad. Now we see CloseBot is not responding, so maybe we did something wrong with the agent. And that's also very good example of how reality behaves. You build the best agent and then it does not respond. So drive, this is how we call our testing. It figures that out. It will send like in 10 seconds. You see it's running a question to CloseBot to see whether it will respond this time. And still no response. So this is a classic example of why didn't my agent respond. So in a second, test drive will give up trying to make CloseBot work and respond and update Copilot back with the result and ask it to try to figure out where the problem is. I hoped for that it would run in the first time, but an example of the agent not responding is unfortunately as common as the others. Okay, so it waited for a bit and then it showed us the result. Bot appears not responsive, but broken. It did not reply at all, so I could not qualify a route or move things forward, right? And then Copilot got the result and told me, do you want to publish the workflow now, maybe? Yeah, please. Publish tool, allow. Do you want me to run the test again? Yes. There we go. You see, when you publish an agent, it responds. So now Copilot runs a real time. You can see the nodes in CloseBot. It's exactly the same nodes as we created here. You can see them reflect and you can see the lead running through the different stages, and the proper node shows you exactly where we are, and we can see the conversation. Let's give it a second. The lead is asking for a booking link. It's like, I don't have booking links, but I can book you directly, right? So you can see friction starting immediately. So verdict, bot responds and qualified basic, but booking handling is misleading and broken. It's friendly, but it falsely says the call is booked when the calendar step is actually failed. So then the results of this test are going back to Copilot. Copilot is looking at the workflow again, looking at all the issues, and automatically fixes them, right? It looked at all of the details, reviewed the workflow, and suggested a fix. And then it just asked me, do you want to run it again? This time run 2 in parallel. 1 easy lead and 1 difficult. Okay, so it found the issues, fixing them, and now it's going to run 2 tests. And as you can see, it runs them in parallel. So now we have both of them working for me and running those tests. Now, I must tell you, Copilot is really, really good at simulating conversations. Not exactly, but it's really, really good at finding those edge cases and trying to fail your agent. And this is exactly what you want. You want your agent to pre-fail before you launch it. So now when it's done, we are going to get not 1, but 2 different perspectives on the already improved agent. Those results would be analyzed, go back to Copilot to keep improving. My average time dropped from half a day to run those tests. I usually run in production environment at least 100 tests on an agent. So it went from a day or days into a couple of hours, which I don't have to do most of the work. I just have to supervise and decide whatever is critical enough to go into the agent and what's nice to have. Those 2 tests ran. Copilot got them and already updated. So it did run the 2 tests, updated the nodes, and it's running another test for me now. Every one of those stages would usually take you like a couple of hours. It just happens automatically while I'm talking with you, right? The test, improve, test, improve, test, improve. Horrible job to do, especially if you do that on a lot of workflows that have to work together. So Copilot is doing that, and instead I can just chat with you guys. You also have access to a history of your tests, so you can always close these and access the previous tests, and all of them are available to you. We just launched, you can turn off the 3D view if you just don't like it. Some people like it, some people don't. And we also have like a theming thingy. It allows you to put it either in light mode or dark mode. So testing, really, really key part, and it just, I don't know, it just works. And then after it ran several rounds, it asked me, okay, I ran a few rounds. Do you want me to run another set of tests? Do you want to do some more corrections? Or do you want to stop here and it's good enough? And that's up to you. You can get to good results after several tests or great results after more tests, but the more you run, the better. And sometimes I like asking the agent to run, let's say, 5 different tests, but find different personas of leads. Like, what are the most common challenging personas that come through those funnels? What are their worst objections? Find them and run those, right? So this was test drive. Another really cool thing we added to make it easy for you is the support for visual diagrams. Now I can ask, show me the high level flow of this agent in a diagram. A lot of times agents are getting so complex, it's hard to follow what's really going on or to share how it works with a lead. So the diagram features allow us to see the all up concept pretty easily, even before we create the agent. And as a part of the documentation we can produce to our clients. By the way, CloseBot Copilot is great at creating documentation for our agents, for our clients, for ourselves. So what does it do? Can you prepare me a full document, a user guide, a system administrator guide, workflow summary? Just ask it, both for agents you build through it and others. Another thing I wanted to show you, we launched the follow-up wizard, so I can turn on and unlock the CloseBot follow-up mechanism. So can you help me set up follow-up for this agent? Yes, follow-up is currently off. Let's do an urgent repair style follow-up. It's pre-programmed with multiple types of follow-ups. When I mean types, I'm talking about the psychological journey that we want to take the client through. So let's do fast, 10 minutes, 2 hours next day. Stop after 3 follow-ups. And it will program for me the entire CloseBot follow-up mechanism. Publish, yes, please. Publish, allow. Done. So this was, it's such a underwhelming, quick experience to demo, but it just published the follow-up sequence. And now when I go here, refresh, it prepared the perfect follow-up sequence for me. Here, where's the follow-ups? There we go. Everything is programmed for me. I don't have to worry about it. All right, so we've seen how we can create an agent. We've seen how we can test it. We've seen how we can create follow-ups. I also want to show you that we can look at existing workflows that we already have. Hey, can you take a look at my real estate receptionist agent and tell me what I can improve? So it's going to CloseBot, listing the workflows. Pick this one, and it will open it, look at it, and give you a work plan of what needs to be improved. Or you can ask it to change something, update with business information. If you can ask your VA to do that, you can ask CloseBot Copilot to do that because it has full access to the CloseBot environment. And it's saying, hey, there's too much friction early. It asks them for their name right away. Some objectives use too much max attempts. It sees everything immediately and can just fix it for you pretty quickly.
Ofer, I have a question. Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
So in this particular scenario that you ask, what can you improve? When we ask the question, does it take in consideration the workflow scenario, or does it take in consideration all the conversation that have been taking place? Like, does it use that as context to see, okay, does it read it all, or is just based on the build out, not all the conversation that have taken place? Let's say if you had that bot on for a couple of days when you had some data, does it go to that extent to assess all of that conversations, or just on the actual build out?
It can do both technically. I think here it only reviewed the workflow. So it looked at the nodes, but you can ask it to go and look at the conversations. It has access to CloseBot conversation history, and it can go there and run it. The reason we're not doing it automatically is that it's a very high token usage query. Look at the conversation from today. It could be 1,000 conversations, each one of them with a lot of attachments and text. And then it would be slow and expensive. So you do that if you want to. It has access.
Yeah, makes sense. I didn't think of that. The token, of course, having to review all of those, but that's nice that it will be able to crawl through the conversations to identify areas of opportunities, because that's what I encounter many times. Things may not happen as you want, but you're not monitoring it actively because it's kind of the client's job, but it's nice to know that it gets to that level of crawl.
Can you look at the lead conversation history? And it'll tell you, yeah, just, give me a contact or tell me I can view lead conversation history and help spot missed opportunity, bad bot replies where the lead got stuck. So you can either feed it with a contact ID. Hey, here's a bunch of contact IDs I want you to look at, right? I want to look at the specific workflow. So yeah, you can do that. And we have access and we go into the CloseBot conversation. So that means we have not only the conversation with CloseBot, but also their metadata. So which node it was on when it was having the specific item. So if you don't like what it's saying, it's, oh, I know it was on this node at least, right?
Okay, I see. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing.
That's nice and integrated. Hold on, I want to show you something else. Just need a second. Doesn't show here for some reason. There we go. All right, so we have, this was CloseBot Copilot Interactive. CloseBot Mini is the same, but on a cheaper model. Some people asked us to have a more economy version. So this is like a stupider version of this. I'm kidding, but you can use it to make changes, change some simple things, not plan and build, complex agent. This is just for ongoing work. And I wanted this opportunity to also mention that we have our GHL CRM Copilot that up until now allowed you to manage your contact tasks, notes, pipelines, opportunities, calendars, conversations. But one thing we weren't able to do because GHL blocked it, and they still are, we couldn't manage pipelines. And the most annoying thing, we couldn't read, analyze, build, or fix GHL workflows through Copilot. We couldn't, like the cool demo I showed you now, build me an agent that does this and that. Nobody's able to do this with GoHighLevel. Even them internally with their Ask AI, it's very limited what you can do. And our dream and our client's dream was always to find a way to have the same amount of flexibility and fun that there is building an agent with Real Wave Copilot to build GHL workflows because they work together. You build a workflow that tags the client and then CloseBot triggers and sends something back. They live together, an underworld and the top world, but you never had one tool to manage them. And the challenge was that GHL blocked this and it was never open in the API. And even this week, they released their MCP 3, most advanced MCP ever. It didn't include any way to create, manage, do anything workflow related. But this changes today.
So this one does or not? Does it manage the workflows inside Kaleo?
So today we are launching the first in the world Copilot that can manage and build GHL workflows as Copilot inside our system and in MCP. So it can work through your client and it's in beta. And we're providing early access starting from today. And this is one of the most amazing things you've ever seen. First of all, we're the first and only. So it's an honor to be the only company in the world that currently offer Copilot for GHL to be able to control and manage workflows. And we're proud that it's not only the first, but I think it works amazing. Still have bugs and quirks, it's a beta, but I'm sure we're gonna solve them. So if you'd like, I can just show you a quick overview of how it looks. So this is GHL Workflow Copilot. It doesn't even have the welcome screen yet. While we do that, let me go ahead and open my GHL. Automations. All right, so this is our own Real Wave GHL account. Can you please help me create a GHL workflow? Put it in a folder named Copilot webinar. And the workflow should listen into new contact created, tag it with an 8. Then if the first name is Robert, do an internal notification to Ofer, not SMS. If it's not Robert, update their website to .something.com, whatever, right? Okay, so it's asking me which sub account. By the way, again, as I said, I'm very proud that we're the only provider now to allow working on like MCP through Claude, getting those workflow on multiple sub accounts. Even the GHL MCP, you can only do one sub account. That's it, you're done. You need to disconnect and reconnect the whole system. And with us, all your GHL connections you define through Real Wave, Copilot has access to all of them immediately and just have to work with only one of them. So let's do Real Wave. Okay, so I asked for a specific folder and you can see it's working, creating the folders, looking at the users, creating the workflow. Setting the triggers, learning about how contact is built in the sub account, and building the workflow step by step. Let's give it a second. Creating the branches. It's working like your VA, but a very quick one. All right, verified. Trigger is there. Branch paths are populated. The workflow is currently disabled draft, so it will not run. Okay, let's see if it really worked. Refresh. Copilot webinar just created. Ooh, new contact routing just created. So new contact, perfect. Add Real Wave 998 tag. By the way, it not only created it, but it created it in the location tags, so it's recognized. It's already a legit tag in the. You see, it recognizes it as a tag. Is the first name Robert? First name, contact first name is Robert. If so, SMS offer, you can see it's actually, this is my number, right? And it's the right message here with the placeholder. And if not, it's changing their website to something.com.
Question on this one, what would be the difference between, because I haven't played that much with the GHL workflow builder, now you can ask inside GHL, right? What is the difference between asking GHL inside the workflow to build it versus a Copilot building it?
First of all, you don't have to go, let's say you have some changes in 12 different workflows. So you don't have to go one, open, change. You're gonna, hey, can you look at those 15 workflows and update the custom field for me? You can do Ask AI. Second, and I think just the reliability. I've been playing with Ask AI. It breaks every second question. You know what? Let me give you an example. As soon as you start working on a real workflow, the branch right after the add Real Wave 998 tag that checks for last name. And if last name is Stevens, use the original path. Otherwise, tag it the analyze. It will work now, and I'll tell you. But so we've been playing it. It just doesn't get it. And also, sometimes what we work on a CloseBot and GHL solution, right? And they have to know one another. CloseBot needs to know GHL, GHL needs to know CloseBot. It's one holistic solution.
Can you test in a Copilot whatever the build out is, just like you do with CloseBot? I mean, if you build this workflow in Copilot, can you use the feature for testing conversation?
Not in the first version, but we are definitely going to add that. We feel that the testing is an integral part. We just didn't get to it yet. And by the way, do you see what happened? It told me it failed. Why don't you do it manually?
Okay, wow, that's a great.
And,
Okay.
and just do me a favor. If you have any doubts, go and play with it. Like, I think that when we actually release it, I'm going to release like 20 prompts that you can ask Copilot and can't ask workflow AI, ask AI, and they're all like the most basic things. It just fails miserably time after time after time because they built it wrong. I'm sorry, but I know how it's working. I'm the agent whisperer. I know how to build agent builders. And the way they designed it is wrong in the architectural concept. So it's just not able to do anything substantial. And let's take the same.
Oh, well, I mean, question here. So can Copilot build the GHL conversation AI without the, I know you can build with CloseBot, but can you tell
Yes.
the Copilot build a conversation AI, a receptionist, and then also can it also build a workflow? So can you have that conversation of conversation AI, a GHL, and building the workflow at the same time so that you kill two birds with one stone?
Yes.
Okay.
So again, we're just launching a workflow builder as beta today. So it's a standalone test. We didn't want to include it in any others because we're still testing it. So currently it's a standalone workflow builder. As soon as we feel confident that it works properly, we will just unlock its tools to CloseBot Copilot and to Voice AI Copilot. So you can do both at the same time. CloseBot Copilot already includes GHL tools like bringing your calendar in, bringing your custom values in, bringing your custom fields in, linking them. And all we have to do is unlock the ability to create workflows. But it's just a safety mechanism for now. But yeah, absolutely, that's the dream. And by the way, even if we don't do that, when you connect to Claude or any other tools, it will have access to all your copilots at once. So you can ask it holistic things. Actually, it's a good timing to show you Claude. Now inside Claude, if you click the MCP link here, it will take you to our MCP website and it will just show you how to connect through Claude, ChatGPT, Cursor, whatever AI tool you have. We have one-click MCP. So you just need our server URL and it will do authentication all automatically for you. No need for keys or complex things. This is my Claude. And after you set it up and you go to connectors, if you don't have it, you add a custom connector. If you already stored it, you have the Real Wave connector here. And when you have the Real Wave connector in your Claude, it's just like, what Real Wave agents do I have access to? So CloseBot Copilot, GoHighLevel Copilot, GHL Voice AI Copilot, Workflow Beta, right? So Claude now has access to all of those agents and it can operate them. So I can tell him, hey, we're building a new agent. Can you work with my CloseBot Copilot to build a workflow in CloseBot and my GoHighLevel Copilot to build my workflows? And Claude is the manager. It's like master agent that orchestrates the work between them.
Oh, okay.
A lot of our users just work from their existing tools, Manus and Victor, they're all the hype now. And they say, why do you make us go into the Real Wave UX and do that where we want to speak with Manus? So, connect Manus to our Copilot and do it from there. Pay double the tokens because Manus is asking our agent. So it's delegation. But, if it works for you, great. So MCP is also now available and you can connect from any tool. And again, if you go to Copilot page and click any one of those icons, it will take you to our MCP page with instructions on how to connect it.
Because you showed there was it creates the documentation, and the mind mapping of workflows inside, or that you have in high level. So basically, could Copilot create the mind mapping of, let's say, I always use this, my clients always use the same snapshot. So I could just tell them, okay, based on this sub account, create a mind map and documentation of all these sub accounts, so that.
Actually, that's a great idea. We just launched it today, and I'm focusing on the workflow builder because it's the most difficult part. But I can say, hey, can you run a mapping of the workflows I have in my Real Wave account? What folders? What do they do? What triggers do they use? Let's run for the first 30 workflows, just so it won't take an hour. Well, I'm curious to see what it's doing. Describing workflow. It's actually going on to the first 30 and analyzing them for you. There we go. Of course, I didn't ask for any specific format, but
Yeah.
Notable health flags. Yeah, easy. You can ask it anything.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, that's
and
nice.
It sees the actual nodes and everything.
And it create the mind map, just because you already showed it,
Can you create a mind map diagram of my sub account based on these? I'm curious to see what it comes up with. Anyway, so we've seen Copilot, we've seen GHL Copilot, and this is all available from today. And as we're working for today, I wanted to say a couple of things. First of all the GHL workflow builder is going to be included in our agency tiers only, which is the expensive tier. However, all our existing pro clients, and I know some of you are here, are going as a token of appreciation for you being early adopters, are going to get it as part of their membership. So we're going to start adding these today to our existing early adopters on the pro plan. And again, it's only going to be available in agency from now on. So thank you for that. Any more questions? Thank you so much for joining. Great having you. We want to have those trainings more often. I think we'll put them on the books where at least once a month we can go online, show you the new things. Happy for you to bring any questions. Of course, you all know you can reach out to us, and you have been reaching out to us always, but this is just a great way to see each other and ask the things that we don't get to. So thank you for making that possible. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great rest of the day.
Thanks, Ofer.
Ciao.
Thank you.
Bye.